And welcome back to another daily devotion. I'm Pastor Roy here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Thursday, October 20th of 2022. Today we're going to finish chapter 6 in Hebrews. Yesterday we started chapter 6. This is one that we just broken into two parts, or I broke it into two parts. Really no other way to do it, though, really. We could actually spill into chapter 7 with this one, but we won't. We'll hold back and talk about chapter 7. We'll talk more about this Melchizedek as we get into chapter 7. He gets mentioned here at the very end of chapter 6, but we'll hold off on really talking about that fellow, and we'll wait till tomorrow and deal with that. But this section is verses 13 to 20 in chapter 6. In the Revised Standard Version, it's called the certainty of God's promise. So, without further ado, let's look at verses 13 to 20 in chapter 6 of Hebrews, like the coffee. All right. For when God made a promise to Abraham, since he had no one greater by whom to swear, he swore by himself, saying, Surely I will bless you and multiply you. And thus Abraham, having patiently endured, obtained the promise. Men indeed swear by a greater than themselves, and in all their disputes an oath is final for confirmation. So when God desired to show more convincingly to the heirs of the promise the unchangeable character of his purpose, he imposed with an oath, so that through two unchangeable things, in which it is impossible that God should prove false, we who have fled for refuge might have strong encouragement to seize the hope set before us. We have this as a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, a hope that enters into the inner shrine behind the curtain, where Jesus has gone as a forerunner on our behalf, having become a high priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. Okay, and one thing there in verse 18, it says, we who have fled for refuge might have strong encouragement to seize the hope set before us. That would make me start to wonder if this is written to someone or to a group that has fled from Jerusalem because of the ban on Jewish folks being in Jerusalem after the Romans tore down the temple in 70. So to me, that shores up that argument that this is written after the destruction of the temple. They're refugees, is what's going on here. And the promise, they're worried about the promise of Jesus, the Jesus died on the cross. This whole thing, it's been, if this is after 70 AD, it's been roughly, 30 some, not quite 40 years after Jesus has been crucified and resurrected. So they are wondering about this. And the reassurance here is that the author's talking about Abraham and the promise of Abraham. The promise that Abraham would be the father of a great nation. Yet Abraham, when he received that promise, had no offspring. In fact, his name originally was Abram, which means honored father. God changed his name to Abraham, which is the father of many. Yet it was a good 25 years from the time his name was changed till Isaac was born. And so that promise was not necessarily quick in coming. So that's the point he's pointing out here. Jesus will come again. He will come into the world again. Don't put him on your human time scale, and realize that God is there. His promises are true. And he also talks about the covenant here with Abraham. That's from Genesis chapter 15, where you have the division of the animals, and God walks between them. Now, in a human covenant, the leaders, if they were settling a dispute or something, or the kings might do that same sort of thing where they would slaughter animals, and the two of them would walk together through the slaughtered animals, with the impetus being that if we renege on this covenant, this is what shall happen to us. This is one of the illustrations I always bring up when I'm doing premarital counseling, is that this is a covenant, this marriage thing. And if you break a covenant, this is what happens to you. It's very, very graphic. Let's put it that way. But that's what's going on there. But the whole point of this is that we encounter in life so many trials and so many tribulations, times where we feel like, what is going on? How do we get through this? He talks in here also about that Christ is our steadfast anchor. the anchor for our soul. And if we envision life as this dark and stormy sea, which it really is a pretty good metaphor, really is, if you think about it. You never know when that rogue wave is coming to get you. You never know what's coming at you. But you need to stay fast and anchor deep into Christ Jesus. And if you do that, you will prevail against the storm. And even if the waves crush you over and you perish in the water, you still have that anchor that brings you to eternity. Praise be to God. So that's really what I see for this, that I want to glean from this today. That's where I'm going to leave it today. We'll pick up in chapter 7. I apologize. Got a lot going on today. It's a busy day. But tomorrow we'll pick up with chapter 7. Probably be a short one again because tomorrow is an even busier day. So we'll pick up with Melchizedek tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Please be a blessing to someone today. Tell them about Jesus. That would be the promise of Jesus, and He is your anchor. It'd be a good way to bless somebody, don't you think? I think so. If you like these devotions, please like and subscribe. We'd love to have you back more often. Take care, and God bless you.